My name is Jake Schrum, and I have had the joy and privilege to serve as the interim vice president for college advancement for almost 3 years. Additionally, I am an Agnes Scott parent, and I also served on the board of trustees. There may be some in this audience who love Agnes Scott more than I, but probably not much. My charge when beginning at Agnes Scott was to finish the fundraising campaign for Main Hall. Along with everyone here today, I am proud to say that because of your generosity, we did it. We did it. You have our deepest and warmest thanks. As you know, the driving force behind the Main Hall renovation was our president, Lee Zack. Please join me in welcoming Agnes Scott's 9th president to the podium to begin our ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. And thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the rededication of Agnes Scott Main Hall. Today would not have been possible without each and every one of you. I want to recognize some of our special guests this afternoon. A warm welcome to our trustees, to members of our Board of Visitors, Mayor Patty Garrett, City Commissioner Leslie Mayer, Tony Powers, and Kelly Walsh, City Manager Andrea Arnold, and other representatives of the DeKalb County and our Decatur school system. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you for joining us. When I arrived on the campus in July of 2018, the very earliest phases of the renovation had just begun. On my first day, the building was surrounded by a high chain link fence, and there was an 8-foot ditch around the foundation of the building. I have to tell you, I wasn't quite sure how to get in. And I was also a little concerned that they were sending me a message. However, after viewing the condition of the residence floors, although our students were doing their best to cope, I was convinced that another day could not go forward without Main Hall becoming our priority. We launched the campaign in February of 2019 with the help of our alumni board, and now, 5 years and $33.8 million in gifts and pledges, and more than 650 individuals and foundations later, we can all be proud of the role we have played in revitalizing the college's iconic building. Agnes Scott was envisioned in 1889 as an expression of the founder's vision for the future of the college. Architecturally distinct, handcrafted of enduring materials, and technologically superior. When Main opened in 1891, with steam heating, plumbing, hot and cold running water, it was the first building in DeKalb County to have electric lights. Neighbors would gather on the lawn at dusk, the lawn right out here, to watch as the lights turned on. Today, those electric lights are powered by the college's largest solar array, and the building is expected to be certified LEED Gold. Agnes Scott is a national leader in implementing climate action solutions. The success of the college's largest solar array can be attributed in part to our climate action team, an innovator and founding executive director of the college's Center for Sustainability, Susan Kidd, and an Agnes Scott alumni who could not be with us today, but we are so grateful to Susan. We are also grateful to Solar Project Manager and Senior Policy Advisor Jennifer Kaduk, class of 1976, and our current executive director of the Center for Sustainability, Kimberly Reeves, class of 2012, who were instrumental in securing and executing the solar installation. Can we give them a round of applause? As part of the tour later today, make sure to visit our solar arrays on the 4th floor of the West parking facility before you head home, and there will also be experts there to give you a tour. As a bridge between our past and our future, Main Hall continues to be a space for innovation. Not only are the physical spaces beaming, but a new generation of future Agnes Scott graduates now has the opportunity to create lasting memories and take the first steps toward their future within these walls. As you enter Maine, I know that's what you've been waiting for. As you enter Maine, I invite you to visit both floors of our Career Exploration Center, where our ambitious students will plan their futures. The garden level includes a career exploration lab and space to meet with prospective employers in person and virtually. Be sure to view the bell tower, where our students ring the bell when they receive a job offer or an acceptance to graduate school. Stroll through the halls and enjoy the pictures of our students experiencing Agnes Scott College. Step into the Diekman Conference Room and the President's Office to see the beautiful tables that were crafted from the magnolia trees that had been planted by Professor Diekman in front of Rebecca Hall over a century ago. View the residence halls, living spaces on the top 3 floors. Many thanks to our students who tidied up today and volunteered to show their rooms. And some of the rooms are marked with balloons where they offered to allow you in. Many of these spaces are named for their donors or those who have given in memory of friends and loved ones. Alumni named rooms they lived in and studied in, even though after the renovation, those spaces became the laundry or the kitchen. 11 classes banded together to name residence rooms, student spaces, and even the elevator. I want to thank our outstanding advancement team, initially led by Robbie Charles and later by Jake Schrum, for their tireless efforts. Will the members of the advancement team please rise as able or give a wave? Can we acknowledge them? And thank you to each of our donors and funders gathered here today, and those who are with us today on behalf of loved ones. We are grateful to our city officials, builders, suppliers, craftspeople, and architects who helped to renovate this beautiful building in a way that honors its history and tradition of innovation. I especially want to acknowledge our general contractor, Holder Construction Company, the architectural firm, Jenkins Piers Architects of Charlotte, North Carolina, engineering consultants, Newcomb and Boyd, and our construction management firm, Georgia State Construction and Interior Consultants, all of which have representatives here today. Can we give them a round of applause for the beautiful building? Before I close, I also want to thank the original builders and craftspeople who constructed Main Hall in 1891. Many whose names are not known, who are not seen. Like Agnes Scott College itself, they built Main Hall, or Agnes Scott Hall, as it was known at the time, to be a shining example of innovation, academic excellence, and a beacon of hope for a better future for those who had traditionally been denied access to education. And like the college, they built her to last. Thank you. And welcome to the newly renovated Main Hall. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lee. And now I would like to introduce the chair of Agnes Scott College's Board of Trustees, Elizabeth No, class of '86. We appreciate her leadership throughout the campaign for Maine. Elizabeth?
Good afternoon. As chair of the Board of Trustees and on behalf of the board, I welcome you to this special celebration. As an alumna, I am thrilled to see so many of our alumni gathered as donors and with others today. Please accept my deepest gratitude for making the renovation of Maine Hall a reality. When we first started the campaign for Maine, we reached out to the board of our alumni board and invited current and former members to a party called Make the First Move for Maine. It was chaired by trustees Molly McRae Fink, class of '89, and Giselle Fernandez Martin, class of '98. The enthusiasm at that event spread across generations of alumni who collectively came together to make gifts and commitments in excess of $20 million to the renovation of Maine. When I joined the board, we were in the midst of the renovation of Campbell Hall, and then we moved on to Rebecca, where I lived as a junior, and now Maine. Maine has always been the most desired residence on campus. To my chagrin, it was last renovated in 1985 and '86. As you heard, I was the class of '86, so I never had the privilege of living in Maine. But it is still a very important place in my heart, and it is a special place for all Scotties. So it is particularly special to celebrate its renewal today. With this dedication, we are fulfilling a vision that began 15 years ago to foster a student residential experience that is central to the college's academic success, our students' sense of belonging, and their interpersonal and leadership skill development. This vision was guided by the Board of Trustees, and the fundraising for each project has been completed by our amazing foundation friends. Let's hear it for the foundations. This is a momentous occasion for Agnes Scott, and I am so thankful that each of you participated in making it happen and that you are here to celebrate it with us today. Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now I invite Inshuri Causey, class of 2026, to give greetings from our students. Inshura is the president of the Student Government Association at Agnes Scott College and a member of the class of 2026. She is from Little Rock, Arkansas, and is majoring in math economics with a minor in chemistry. Inshura.
Good afternoon, everyone. As the president of the Student Government Association and a proud resident of Maine Hall, I'm thrilled to bring greetings from the student body. We are grateful to the generous donors for making this renovation possible. Thanks to you, our residence hall is beautiful, efficient, and has a working elevator. With inviting study rooms and warm common areas, we finally have a space that feels like home, where we can support each other through late night study sessions, share meals, and build friendships that will last long after graduation. We are also excited for the Career Exploration Center, where we can explore our futures and find inspiration that helps us pursue our dreams thanks to your commitment and kindness. I'm honored to be one of the first students back in Maine Hall after 5 years. When I chose to live here, I was drawn to its rich history and sense of community. Plus, who could resist living in Maine and hearing the bell ring again, reminding us of all the great memories and good times to come. And to our amazing alums, we invite you to share your stories inside the Career Exploration Center. Your experiences are invaluable, and we love to hear about your adventures. Thank you all for your incredible support. We are ready to create some unforgettable memories in this beautiful space.
Thank you, Ventura. Now I would like to welcome Beth Holder, class of '82. We are so thankful for Beth's generous support in kicking off the campaign for Maine. Beth?
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. It's wonderful to see so many friends, and I'm really glad to be back on campus to see this beautiful building. I was asked to say a few words about Maine and what it has meant to me over the years and as an alum. But I need to add my thanks to the Holder team for their incredible work. Just to highlight them, anybody, can they stand or raise your hand if you're on the Holder team and here today? Thank you. There's so many. So many associates from Holder, and I'm so grateful for your work. You bring quality, professionalism, and care into every job, and including this important project. And it means so much to us. You are our family. I'd also like to highlight and give a shout out to two long marchers who have been with us for a number of building programs here that we've had. Doug Hunter and Allie Thacker. There are two long marchers. They have patiently worked with two presidents and I think 4 CFOs, starting with our Campbell Hall and then Rebecca, and now our beautiful Maine. I can't thank you enough for your involvement, wisdom, and encouragement, and also particularly for your patience. I'm deeply grateful, and and I personally want to thank you all. So, we're fortunate to live in a country that offers choices about most things. What do I mean by this? Well, in this case, I'm talking about the choice of attending a college or university. If an aspiring student with resources and support wants to go to college, there are many different options out there. Take Atlanta, for example. In downtown and midtown, we have 2 large urban public universities, one being a major research institution. Our neighbor is a large private institution offering ranked graduate programs. Over on the west side, we have a consortium of terrific HBCUs. Down the road, a small liberal arts college in the Brookhaven area. And of course, our awesome and beloved Agnes Scott College, 135 years old this year. All are unique in size and they offer different programs and experiences. But they have one thing in common. They offer residential housing, or as we like to say, an active and bright, vibrant dorm life. As 18-year-olds, this is where we have an opportunity to grow up, and aren't we lucky to have these choices? I grew up here at Agnes Scott and in Maine dorm and on the 3rd floor up there on this side in a single room. I made lifelong friendships. My friends and I gave each other perms in the kitchen. We made special brownies in the kitchen. I planned my wedding to this amazing man and my partner 42 years ago. My friends and I watched soap operas and smoked cigarettes. We also watched the Carter-Reagan debates and the election results in 1980. And I occasionally studied and did a term paper or two. Generations later, our incredible students here at Agnes Scott are probably not smoking cigarettes or watching soap operas, but they're growing up to be great leaders to tackle the intellectual and social challenges of their time. It's vital that we all support and nurture this type of living and learning environment. That's why Tommy and I choose to give to Agnes Scott, and I encourage all of you to support this special place so that future students have a dorm life experience like I did. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Beth. Now I would like to introduce Anjali David, class of '26. She is a third-year student, double majoring in English literature, creative writing, and business management. She serves on the executive board of the Student Government Association, tutors in the Center for Writing and Speaking, and tours prospective students as an admissions ambassador. Anjali is always ready to show her Scotty pride. Anjali.
At the end of a long 1891, we sat and watched the lights turn on. Years of sun setting on rows of picnic blankets, crochet hooks, and Scotty's coming home. But the floors of Maine began to creak, the wood well loved under soft socks and slippers, and the elevator would start to groan as friends crowded close, nervous laughter and snickers. Main Hall needs repairs, the students would say. So doors were closed shut to open another day. The plans began because everyone should know Main Hall would be the campus star for an innovative Scotty to learn and to grow. But change takes so much time, and time takes so much weight. The doors remained shut until one fateful day. The students returned to doors wide open, sleek dunedaines, and fresh coats of painting. All of those years spent watching and hoping, culminating in a building worth all the waiting. Bubbling pasta in the communal kitchen, and movies blaring out from under closed doors, Scotty staring out at the view of Decatur, ready for their future, and so much more. So when seniors race the stairs to tug on the bell, we'll remember the history of those who came before. But it's our history for the making, our future for the taking, and our legacy to leave for a few decades more.
Thank you, Anjali, for sharing your beautiful poem about Main Hall. At this time, we will hear from Kim Siegelson of the class of 1984. Kim is the niece of Emmy Evans Blair, class of 52, and her husband, Dwayne Blair, and is here representing her family. Kim?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank President Zach and everyone in the Office of Advancement for the opportunity to speak on behalf of my Aunt Emmy Evans Blair and my Uncle Dwayne Blair, as well as our entire family. I'm proud and honored to offer some words and insight into who they were to us and to the broader community that had a special interest in supporting through time given, talent shared, and transformative financial gifts. As I look around the campus where my sister and I spent our college years, it's easy to imagine my young aunt here because so many of the original buildings have been beautifully preserved, including this one. Our footsteps fall in some of the same places. Our desks face some of the same windows, and we rest in the shade of the same old trees grown taller. It's one of the things that makes Agnes Scott very special. You should know that Agnes Scott was not Emmy's first choice, but her mother, Sarah McCurdy Evans, class of 1921, pressed her to come with the agreement that she could leave after her freshman year if she so chose. But she began her studies and found a community in the deep female friendships she forged here and never looked back. She and my Uncle Dwayne had known each other at Decatur High School, but their courtship really blossomed on this campus. They were married after she graduated with a chemistry degree in 1952, unusual for a woman at that time, but made possible at Agnes Scott. Uncle Dwayne attended Emory Medical School, and Aunt Emmy took a job in a laboratory at a textile company, becoming the family breadwinner while he completed his studies. Perhaps some of you have read the book Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis or watched the series based on the book. If you have, then you'll understand that my Aunt Emmy was the original Elizabeth Zott. In the novel, Elizabeth is the lone female chemist in a research lab where she is underestimated and undervalued, but later becomes the reluctant host of an acclaimed cooking show that covertly empowers women while dishing up science-based recipes for dinner. Let me just say that first, Emmy and Dwayne were both highly accomplished cooks who baked sourdough and brewed beer at home before it was part of influencer culture. But it was her time in the workplace that informed and activated Emmy's worldview. Let me share a story. One Christmas, Emmy learned that all the men in her lab had been given bonuses and raises, but she had not been included. When she went to her supervisor to find out why, considering that she had been doing the same work, and in some cases more complex work, she was told that the men got raises because they were the family breadwinners, and women were not the heads of their family with the same financial responsibilities as men. Oh, that moment burned bright in her memory 60 years later. And because of it, she believed in the power of education, particularly the education of women at institutions like Agnes Scott. And she always pushed to recognize the equal value of women in the workforce. So I think it is fitting that among the many gifts that she and my Uncle Dwayne gave to Agnes Scott are two prominently anchored spaces that act as bookends to a student's life here. The Office of Admission and the Enrollment Suite in Rebecca Hall, and now the Career Exploration Center here in Maine. The first ushers young women toward the pursuit of an education, and the second assists them in finding meaningful work. It is a profound legacy to leave, one that will benefit not only these young Scotty women, but also their families well into the future. Emmy and Dwayne nurtured many cats and dogs over the years, but did not have children of their own. They chose to enrich the lives of thousands of other people's children, like me, who were family, but far, far more who they would never know. They believed they could make a difference in their community, make an impact in the lives of future female leaders, and champion education for its own sake and as a continuum throughout life. They would be so pleased with this beautiful space named for them, knowing the many students who will use it to chart the next phase of life, both excited to go forward and afraid to leave the cocoon of this campus. But I would offer the words of fictional chemist Elizabeth Zott: whenever you feel afraid, just remember courage is the root of change, and change is what we're chemically designed to do. So when you wake up tomorrow, make this pledge: no more holding yourself back. Do not allow your talents to lie dormant, ladies. Design your own future. The decidedly real Emmy Blair would be thrilled to imagine the designs that will take place here. We as a family are grateful for the legacy of learning and generosity Emmy and Dwayne have left, and for the memory of them that will continue at Agnes Scott. Thanks.
Thank you, Elizabeth, Beth, Kim, and Inshira for your remarks today, and to Anjali for bringing Maine Hall to life through poetry. Can we give them a round of applause? Also, thanks to Ainsley Franklin, class of 2026, for sharing her musical talent with us in our gathering. If we could give her a round of applause as well. Okay, we're just about there, the moment you've been waiting for. Just a few announcements. Following the ribbon cutting, I encourage you to come and enjoy all 5 floors of Agnes Scott Hall, Main Hall, as she's now known today, and there will be refreshments on the first floor. As Inshira mentioned, on the first floor, we will also have the opportunity to share your stories of Main Hall. 2 colleagues will be recording and capturing stories, which is part of our project with the Mellon Foundation. There will be volunteers throughout the building to show you the way. Again, I encourage you to be sure to stop by and see the solar array. Looking out at the crowd, we clearly have enough sun. People are seeking the shade. But when you return to the parking facility, please be sure to stop and see the solar array. It really is quite something. And those who would like to access the elevator, you can do that by walking around to the student entrance or coming through the colonnade. And as was mentioned, we're really excited to have a working elevator in this building. Now is the time we've all been waiting for, our ribbon cutting, and I'm going to ask the platform party to join me.